Good morning. I wasn't going to do a video, but just got to show up in these times at the moment. That feels really relevant. We've just got to keep showing up. What I want to do is I'm just going to light a violet candle, and it's a candle that's violet the whole way through. And just let that kick in, that violet light, just see that violet light everywhere. And violet and gold together, transmuting. Just so you can sit here in this moment, letting go of everything else and just be. Just breathing in that violet light and breathing it out, and seeing yourself embraced in the most beautiful golden light all around you. So the last 24 hours have been interesting, haven't they? They especially in the UK, everything's getting shut down, which we knew was coming. But when it actually comes, I think people start to take things a bit more seriously. No, what I'm hearing is constructively. So for argument's sake, when a woman is in labour, she knows for 9 months or however long her pregnancy is that she's going to deliver, that pregnancy is going to come to an end and a new cycle will begin, whatever that cycle may be. Doesn't mean we're not shocked when it happens. For those of us that have been through the experience, and we know at any stage in labour, when it starts to change, the next part that comes through can be quite shocking. And we start to question our ability to get through it, to do it, whether it's our own or the support that we have or the place that we are. We start to question that. And that's a natural part of the cycle. And that happened to me yesterday, and it feels really, really quite emotional. I don't know about anybody else, but virus aside, let's just for a minute place the virus to one side. What I am seeing in this world is incredible. It just blows me away. I am seeing people reducing their prices so others can afford it. I am seeing people offering free services to those that they would never normally meet. I am seeing people help each other with their shopping and their animals and their children. I'm seeing free meditations, free healing, offering them myself as well, obviously, but that's kind of not new. But I don't want to sidetrack. I'm seeing, wow, I had Anthony Hopkins in my front room the other day, literally on the camera, doing a piano recital for everybody. I've listened to Coldplay, I've listened to Robbie Williams. These are people I would never be able to see in real life for one reason or another. And it's incredible. It's incredible. I have the opportunity to learn Tai Chi, yoga, all these things that I desperately wanted to start, I can now do. And I'm blown away by it. But underneath it last night, there was something. There was the shadow aspect of it all. There always is for us all. And we all have our own journey and we all have our own wounds. And mine last night came up very much to be related to trust. Trust that things can change. So at one point, I do recall feeling quite angry that it had to get to this point before people would start to look at their lives, myself included. And I knew then that there was still quite a bit of judgment that I was carrying. This is the virus. Yeah, it is the judgment, the guilt, the shame, the anger, the old ways that we are carrying. Last night, for a brief second, I had a tickly cough, and it was because I'd eaten a brownie, a normal brownie, and I'll say about that in a minute because of the cup that I've got, but I had a tickly cough. And immediately my mind thought, it's the coronavirus. Now, what sparked that fear wasn't me having the virus, it was me spreading it to another. I suddenly felt quite fearful about that. You know, I didn't want to affect my husband's business. I didn't want to affect my son. I didn't want to be the one to pass that virus on. And that was my fear. That was the entry point for the virus. So let's talk about viruses. All infections need an entry point. From a medical perspective, they all need an entry point. Whether it's skin, whether it's our aura, everything, in order to feed off of our energy, needs to be able to get in the first place. For me, this virus, like pretty much everything, seems to have an entry point of fear. Now I understand why I brought down that particular spray. Yeah, seems to have an entry point of fear, whatever that may be for the individual. So for some, it's money, and that's understandable. For some, it's health or loved ones or death. For me personally, it's the earth. It always has been the earth. The fear of not being able to do what I came here to do and just to get on with it. So let me take you on a little journey. For the last year or so, I've really toyed with how I work. And I've tried so many different angles and so many different perspectives, and I've come full circle, ironically, like we all have with the virus, doing what I've always wanted to do. But this morning I had little faith in whether that would continue after this, which feels very relevant because, yeah, there will always be an after this, always, and it will be based on what we do now, just like anything. I'm on the Magician today, and black magic kept springing to mind. There are going to be stories that come up. There are going to be theories that come up. There are going to be different ways of working with this energy. There are going to be those that profit from it, people that are buying toilet rolls in bulk or baby milk in bulk or whatever, and then profiting from it. And what we can do is sit back and watch it for the illusion and the trick that it is. I'm on the Magician today, by the way, for the trick and the illusion that it is, or we can start to join that cult. We can start to join that energy. So for argument's sake, last night, my energy was very much, nothing's going to change. Now I can sit here today and say that, or I can decide to see that as an illusion that I will not feed into, a magic show that I will not go and see, and start creating a different magic. So my question today to everybody is, after this, what changes are you going to continue with? I'm going to write a blog later about Mother's Day because it feels like almost like a promise to our mother, to our earth mother. We have seen what can happen in a couple of weeks. Will that mean that we continue to travel less when we don't need to? Will we continue to keep our prices down so people can afford it? Will we continue to help each other? Will we continue to lessen this divide and watch people like Coldplay in our front room every now and then? Or will it always take a crisis for us to truly see each other's souls and to truly see that we are one? And I feel really passionate about that, and I feel passionate about that, but I also recognise there's a wound there for me. And I was talking about it to my husband yesterday, and whether it's Atlantean, whether it's past lives, whether it's this life and my father leaving or whatever, it's very much a reoccurring theme for me. That lack of hope that things will change. Now, as a midwife, as a soul midwife or a physical midwife, that isn't going to work. That is not something I can continue to take forward. So I bring it back to the self. Always bring it back to the self. What work do I need to do here? There is work to be done here. There is a hidden wound here. So with that in mind, this morning what I clearly got is to give it up. Give it up to Great Spirit. Give up these entry points to Great Spirit, these fears, whatever they may be, give them up. Okay, so I'm going to show you a cup that I'm drinking from, and it's one of my husband's cups, and it is Ali Bongo, which is related to cannabis because my husband has a CBD shop, and I'm incredibly proud of him, of the things that he does to help people. Incredibly proud, and he's always been that sturdy energy throughout. But it does say, where's your head at? So have a think for that at the moment. Where is your head at? When we talk about air and our breath and our lungs, it's an element. So is our thoughts. That is also air. So where is your head at? What entry point can this virus have with you? What is it you fear the most in life? And we're going to do this. We're going to do this if you want to. So I've got a couple of sprays here. We've got the violet flame. I'm going to call on the energy of the dragons. Right. Place your feet firmly on the ground. Know that you are held, that you are supported, that it is time to birth this energy back up to spirit where it belongs. Where there is no light, there is no dark. It just is, with gratitude and forgiveness and respect for all that it has taught you. Breathe in that one thing underneath it all that now needs to change. That one energy that has held so much power over you. That fear. Breathe it in. It's yours, it's you, it's part of you. There is nothing to fear here. Breathe it in. Let it fill your whole body, knowing you can do this. You are held, you are supported. And then we will call upon the higher energies. We call upon Great Spirit. We call upon our guides, our ancestors, our loved ones, all those that have walked this path so we no longer have to. And we allow our heart to open, to form a bridge up to the very sky and beyond. And with each breath, we release all that has held us back, all thoughts, all doubts, all fears. And as we do so, we feel the new, the hope, the love, the energy and the support coming down through our head, into our heart, down into our tummy, into the chair that we are sat, the floor beneath us, and into the earth. Knowing that there is a new way, that we are here to birth that new way, that we can, we will. Letting go with great gratitude for the journey so far, the fears, the pain. Knowing it isn't us. It is no longer our truth and it belongs back to source. When you are ready, placing your hands over your heart, holding it for the precious portal that it is, allowing it now to close down and spread that beautiful energy around your body, holding you, knowing this is no longer an entry point for any dis-ease. Feeling your heart beat in rhythm to the earth. Finding yourself swaying to the music of your own soul that you have always known. being held by the earth and seeing the light of the moon above you, your grandmother, your mother. And softly and gently coming back to the room. So that wasn't what I was expecting at all, which is good because, yeah. I do have some cards, and they're from Caroline Myss. They're Archetype cards. And what I was going to do is pull a card for the energy that we are, the archetype that we are, but it feels like it's shifted. So let's stick with that. Let's stick with, okay, when we feel like something is shifted, it has the potential to. It is the doubt that is stopping that now. So yeah, every time you feel like nothing is going to change, that's where we push. As the minor aspect of the universe, that's where we push. Yeah, that's our part. Okay, we feel like nothing is going to change. So what can we do? What can we do to be the change so that then the bigger changes can happen? Moon, Earth, us. We are that cycle as well. We are not separate from it. So an archetype for what we are. You couldn't write this stuff. So it's the pioneer. Yeah, that is what we are. And I can feel that. Oh yes, I remember. I'm a pioneer. Yes, absolutely. We are the magicians. A lot of people will struggle when I call myself a glorified toilet tube, because that's what we are. We are empty vessels here to channel this energy. People struggle because they believe that I'm not valuing myself. Actually, I'm valuing myself incredibly. I mean, look at how much value toilet rolls have at the moment, but I value that. Yeah, I find that an honor because that's what makes me a pioneer. That is the magician energy, and you can pick what you do with this energy. So you may feel that things aren't changing. What can you do to change that within you? Create, dance, sing, do something. Yeah, you are a magician. So anyway, passion. The pioneer, the light attribute. Passion. Passion for doing and creating what has not been done before. And it hasn't been done before. This hasn't been done before. It's been prophesied. Yeah, we have stories and legends as old as Atlantis and the Mayans and Lemuria. It is there. But this hasn't been done before. We have skills. We can do this. But it's about what changes we will put in place now so that when this is over, and it will be over, and it could be quicker than we realise, it will be over. But when this is over, how do we stop it coming back? This isn't about immunity on a physical level. This is about herd immunity. Herd immunity. Yeah, this is about becoming immune to having an entry point for this kind of energy in the first place, which comes from love. But it doesn't come from judgment or guilt or shame. It comes from hope, belief, trust, love. So the shadow attribute of being a pioneer is a compulsive need to keep moving on. Okay, so what are you going to say about that? A compulsive need to keep moving on. Okay, what I'm clearly hearing here, and that's just because the card is yellow and gold. Okay, so we've got fear and Sandlephon here. A pioneer is not somebody that will walk past the flames. A pioneer is somebody that will walk people through them. When we are continually trying to avoid our work, saying it is from something else, it is from someone else, and I'm just as vulnerable of this as anybody. But when we are continually doing that, we are handing our power over, and that is the black magic. That is it underneath. If we believe that it's someone else's job, it reminds me of that poem, Someone Thought They Would Do It, that Get Round to It poem, where someone believed they would be the change and someone else believed they would be the change and nothing actually changed. So there are things that we might not like. There are energies that might trigger things in us. Do the work. Don't run from it. Let's be the change by actually doing it. Yeah, by actually birthing this now, putting our chin down, facing our shadow and dealing with it. The trigger points are going to be different for everybody, and I see a lot of people that are coming up with conspiracy theories. I don't want to get into it because it's not my trigger point. It is, if it triggers you, it's yours. So what is that bringing up for you? What can you do about that? Is sharing it necessarily helping you to face your shadow? Same with fear, same with money concerns. Yeah, yesterday, very much, I would love a world that just helps people in balance.
This is a reminder from Wonder Woman. Maintain garden. This is a reminder from Wonder Woman. Maintain garden.
Yeah, so Alexis has just advised me I need to maintain my garden, which actually hits the nail on the head and is perfectly timed, because a lot of my debates or concerns about money and worth all come from a place of not feeling like my needs will be met. That's how I get triggered in the first place. Doesn't matter who does it or what does it, I get triggered because of that. Now, when we connect to the earth, the garden, when we connect to our mother, we know that we're always abundant and that there's a balance there. So I'm taking Alexis's advice today and I'm going to really connect to my mother. I have a meditation, a journey to the womb, and I may share it here because it is about really going back into that and realizing we never left Eden. We never left Eden. We've always been there. Our needs are always met. And it's really trusting that now. Really trusting that. Because then we don't feel that need to keep moving on. We are in each moment. Yeah. So it feels like there's something else, which it's 22 minutes, so we'll see. That is the dragon energy. When we think about dragon energy, we think about fire and flames and transformation, but the dragons are also the guardians of the earth lines. They are the guardians of that energy deep within the earth. I want to say some, but it feels like all of us are being asked to step into that role in whatever way we can to protect her, protect the earth. All the time we protect her, our needs are met. So again, back to the original question, for Mother's Day in the UK, it's the 22nd of March. What promise can you make the earth? How can you protect her? What have you learned through this virus that you can take forward? Mine is trust. Trust that things can and will change, and the times that I feel like they can't, it's me that needs to change. Harsh, but true. And we take our medicine. Take your medicine. Much love to you all. We've got this. Take care.